In the stillness of the present moment, we begin to uncover the essence of true happiness. Zen teaches us that happiness is not a destination to be reached, but a way of being, accessible in each breath, in each step, in each heartbeat. It is found not in the accumulation of things, but in the shedding of illusions. Let us explore three profound teachings of Zen that illuminate the path to genuine contentment. 1. Embracing impermanence. Everything in life is transient. The cherry blossoms bloom in their full glory, only to scatter with the wind. The morning dew glistens briefly before evaporating under the sun's gaze. Zen invites us to embrace this impermanence, to find beauty in the fleeting nature of all things. By accepting that change is the only constant, we release our grasp on permanence and open ourselves to the flow of life. In this acceptance, we discover a profound peace, a happiness that is not dependent on clinging to what was or yearning for what might be. 2. Letting go of attachments. Attachments bind us to suffering. We cling to desires, to identities, to outcomes, believing they will bring us happiness. Yet, Zen teaches that true freedom arises when we let go. Like a bird soaring effortlessly through the skies, unburdened by possessions, we too can experience liberation by releasing our attachments. This does not mean renouncing all things, but rather not allowing them to control us. In letting go, we create space for serenity, for joy, for a happiness that is not tethered to external circumstances. Zen Buddhism. Jeanette Brown 3. Living in the present moment. The present moment is all we truly have. The past is a memory, the future a dream. Zen calls us to awaken to the now, to fully engage with the life unfolding before us. In the simple act of mindful breathing, in the attentive sip of tea, in the gentle touch of a breeze, we find the richness of existence. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we dissolve the illusions of time and connect with the essence of being. Here, in the now, happiness is not something to be sought. It is something to be experienced. Through embracing impermanence, letting go of attachments, and living fully in the present, Zen guides us to a happiness that is deep, enduring, and ever-present. It is not a fleeting emotion, but a state of harmony with the rhythm of life. As we walk this path, may we find joy not in the pursuit of happiness, but in the realization that it resides within us, waiting to be discovered in each moment of awareness. And so, as we settle into the simplicity of this truth, we begin to understand that happiness does not shout, it whispers. It is not found in the peaks of achievement, but in the quiet valleys of presence. The Zen path asks for nothing more than your full attention, your sincere awareness of this breath, this sound, this fleeting moment. In this awareness, something miraculous unfolds. Life becomes enough. You no longer need to chase, to grasp, to compare, to control. Instead, you begin to dwell gently within the life you already have. And from that place of presence, joy arises, not because you acquired it, but because you finally stopped turning away from it. True happiness, Zen teaches, is not a goal, but a homecoming. A return to yourself, stripped of pretense, quieted of desire, open like the sky. And the more you practice coming back to this place, the more you realize happiness was never far. It was simply waiting beneath the noise, beneath the striving, beneath the belief that something was missing. Nothing is missing. The path is already under your feet. The peace you seek is already in your breath. And the happiness you long for is not a reward. It is the nature of your being, uncovered in stillness, revealed through presence, and nurtured by letting go. And as we continue walking this path, we begin to notice the quiet gifts of each moment. A bird calls in the distance, and we hear it, not as background noise, but as a part of life's sacred unfolding. A cloud moves across the sky, and we watch it drift, free of hurry, free of resistance. These moments are not distractions. They are the teaching. They are the invitation to slow down, to soften, to be fully here. Zen does not ask us to abandon the world, but to meet it with clear eyes and an open heart. And in that meeting, we uncover a truth deeper than pleasure, deeper than comfort. We uncover contentment, a contentment that arises not from everything being perfect, but from no longer demanding that it be. This is not resignation, it is wisdom. It is the deep understanding that life, as it is, holds everything we need to wake up. When we stop chasing happiness, it stops running. It turns to meet us. And in that meeting, we realize it was never something to be found. It was something to be remembered, something to be returned to. Like water returning to its source, we come home to the simplicity of now, and we drink from it, without expectation. That is the flavor of true happiness, uncomplicated, uncluttered, free. And still the mind may ask, is this enough? The world may tempt you to seek more, to accumulate, to compare, to improve. But Zen smiles gently and replies, enough is a feast. To dwell in sufficiency, to appreciate what is already here, is to step outside the cycle of craving. When we say yes to this moment, without needing it to be other than what it is, we become rich, not in things, but in presence. Presence is the greatest wealth. It costs nothing, and it offers everything. It turns the mundane into the miraculous. Washing a ball becomes a sacred act. Walking becomes prayer. Breathing becomes communion with life itself. And in this simplicity, the heart rests. It no longer seeks escape, because there is nothing to run from. There is only this moment, alive and complete. This is the happiness Zen teaches us to trust, not the kind that fades when the conditions change, but the kind that abides, steady and spacious, no matter the weather of life. And when sorrow comes, as it surely will, we do not need to hide. Zen does not reject pain. It invites us to hold it gently without resistance, without judgment. Even in sorrow, happiness is not lost. It becomes quiet, tender, spacious. It sits beside us like a friend who does not try to fix, but simply stays. This is how happiness matures. It ceases to depend on the absence of suffering. It learns to coexist with the full range of life. And in doing so, it grows deeper, more resilient, more real. We begin to understand that happiness is not a fragile thing to protect, but a living presence to embody. It breathes with us. It moves with us. It waits for us in the silence we so often avoid. And when we finally turn toward that silence, we meet ourselves just as we are. And in that meeting, we are no longer divided. We are whole. We are home. So continue to sit, to breathe, to return. Let each moment be a doorway, and each breath a reminder. Let the noise of the world pass, like wind through trees. Let your attention rest gently on what is. This is the practice. Not striving, not fixing, not becoming, but being. Fully, honestly, simply. And as you rest in this being, you begin to feel it. Happiness, not as a flash of excitement, but as a quiet warmth beneath everything. A steady flame that does not flicker when the winds of life blow. This is the happiness that Zen teaches. It does not depend on the world changing. It depends on us, waking up to the world as it is. And in that awakening, we are no longer seekers. We are finders. We are not in pursuit of happiness. We are its expression. We carry it not in words or smiles alone, but in our presence, our patience, our peace. This is the teaching. This is the path. This is enough. And so, as the breath rises and falls, as the moments stretch and pass, We begin to live more gently. We begin to see more clearly. The sharp edges of life soften under the light of our awareness. We no longer cling to every thought, every reaction, every desire. Instead, we observe, we allow, and in that allowance, we find something extraordinary. Spaciousness. The mind, once filled with noise, becomes quiet, not silent in a forced way, but open like a vast sky. Clouds still move across it, thoughts, emotions, sensations, but they do not trouble us. We no longer chase after them or try to push them away. We watch, we breathe, we remain. This is what Zen calls the great freedom. The freedom of not needing things to be different in order to be at peace. It is not a passive state. It is alive, aware, awake. It is the clarity of presence, the still joy of knowing that this, just this, is enough. In that stillness, we discover gratitude, not as a practice, but as a natural response. When we are fully here, we do not need to force ourselves to be thankful. Gratitude simply arises. It blooms in the space where judgment once lived. We find ourselves moved by simple things: a warm cup of tea, the rustling of leaves, the sound of distant rain. Life, when viewed through the eyes of presence, reveals itself as a gift, and we realize we do not need more. We only need to see. We only need to feel. We only need to remember what has always been here. The miracle is not in what is added to life, but in what is uncovered when we stop running. This uncovering is Zen. This remembering is happiness, not the fleeting joy of external gain, but the abiding contentment of inner stillness. And in this stillness, we stop measuring our lives in achievements, in possessions, in how others see us. We begin to measure life by presence, by depth, by the quiet joy that fills a moment when we are fully alive to it. The beauty of Zen is that it does not ask us to be different. It only asks us to be real, to be honest with our experience, to touch what is here without the veil of expectation. And when we do, we find that true happiness is always simple. It is never complicated. It is not tangled in thought. It is not caught in time. It is now, and now again, and now once more, always waiting, always available, like a soft light that never goes out, no matter how dark the world may seem. When we stop turning away from our lives, when we meet them with open eyes, open hands, open hearts, we realize we were never separate from happiness. We only forgot. We only looked elsewhere. But happiness was always walking beside us, silent, patient, gentle, waiting for us to slow down, waiting for us to listen. Zen shows us the way back, not through doing more, but through doing less, through sitting, through breathing, through trusting. And as we learn to trust, we begin to soften. We become less reactive, less rigid, less afraid. We no longer need to control every outcome. We no longer need to hold every opinion so tightly. We become spacious. We become kind. Kind to others, yes, but also kind to ourselves. This kindness is radical. It is healing. It allows us to rest in our imperfections, to find peace even in our pain. And in this peace, happiness blooms like a flower opening to the morning sun. Not because we made it happen, but because we finally stopped getting in the way. If this message resonates, subscribe for daily Zen reflections and guided wisdom to help you reconnect, reflect, and become fully yourself. Until then, remember, be where you are. Otherwise, you will miss your life.